So we just took a night train from Shanghai to Beijing, and we're about to arrive probably about half an hour, and we got a soft sleeper, which was quite an experience. It's a tiny little room with 4 people and all our luggage, so it wasn't the most comfortable night, but I suppose more comfortable than a crowded plane. So I get to lean out, so that's nice. But I'll be really happy to be in a hotel room at some point, so that should be soon. Our first hotel for the trip will be in Beijing.
So in true Jeff and Judy do stuff fashion, we're going to try donkey meat. So it's going to be interesting, and we'll find out how delicious it is. It looks good, so we want to be adventurous on this trip and try things we've never tried, and this is definitely going to qualify.
It's like a fresh-made bread pastry. It's kind of crispy on the outside. This is the donkey meat. It looks like there's some jalapenos in there. And we're usually a vegetarian, but on this trip we're going to try different things. I figured donkey meat probably isn't industrialized and fed GMO corn, so here we go. Smells good. It's mild. Delicious. It's not gamey at all. It's more like beef. Really. Delicious. Just entered the Forbidden City. Took us a little while to find it, but we're in this outer square, so we're about to go inside to check out the opulence that was the Emperor of China.
Soldiers chosen to guard this revered area must be exactly the same size, even their shoulder width, so as to be perfectly uniform when marching. Forbidden City is named such because it was forbidden for any commoner to enter. Any commoner who saw the emperor was killed, even if the emperor was outside the gates of the Forbidden City. To warn the people of Beijing, if the emperor was leaving his palace, the palace guards would sound bells if the emperor turned left, drums if he turned right, and both if he went straight. Talk about if looks could kill. So supposedly there are 9,999 rooms in the Forbidden City. 9's a lucky number in Chinese. Some books quote 8,886 rooms, but this does not include the antechambers. Either way, that is one heck of a lot of real estate. In the middle of the stairway here is a huge piece of marble. It's a carving of 9 dragons playing with pearls. It's the biggest stone sculpture in the Forbidden City. In the Ming and Qing dynasties, anyone who was caught touching this monstrous stone would be punished by the death penalty. The tradition of castrating male servants dates back over 2,000 years. The Qing dynasty started with 9,000 eunuchs, reduced to about 1,500 in 1908. Their testicles were mummified and stored in jars to be buried with them after their death. Many eunuchs were harshly treated or executed at whim. Corruption, power struggles, and personal vendettas flourished. Yeah, you'd be pissy too if somebody took your goodies. Court life was strictly organized into routines, protocols, and ceremonies. The rules were elaborate. Some doorways were restricted for the use of certain ranks, and penalties for forgetting were severe. Formal ceremonies were heralded by drum rolls, music, and required forms of dress and behavior. Every architectural feature and ornament had significance. Everything was symbolic in its nature. Imagine a closed world of brightly painted wood, stone floors covered by brilliant yellow carpets. Depending upon status, each rank would dine from color-coded plates, cups, and bowls. Only the emperor and empress were entitled to use real gold, or radiant yellow porcelain. A real tourist attraction, boy. I'll tell you, we got a few tourists around here, but I imagine this place must get really crazy, like in the summertime or when, because this isn't too bad. So actually pretty nice. So what's next for Jeff and Judy? Well, an interesting phenomenon we encountered in Beijing was a long line of food stands. Now, all of the food prep people were all dressed exactly the same. All the food stands looked identical to each other, and they all carried all kinds of various foods that none of the locals would ever eat, and only a very deranged tourist would probably ever put in their mouth. So, Jeff and Judy travel tip: don't eat the tourist food. You can take pictures of it, but don't put it in your mouth. Did you want to join? How you liking all these subway journeys?
Subway's good. I think we have it figured out, but we're going to take a taxi on the way back to the hotel, I think.
So it's been raining, and all the stuff that we kind of tried to do today, it didn't kind of work out because of the rain, and my foot was not doing good, and I caught a cold. So it's just a confluence of events, but we're doing the best we can. We're going to go try and hit the bird's nest and go take some pictures of the Olympic Village. And then we're going to go back to the hotel because we've got an early flight out in the morning to Guilin. So, but yeah, things don't always work out on your trips. You got to be flexible, and you got to be willing to take a chance here and there. And today was one of those days that not everything worked out. So hopefully Guilin will rock, because Beijing has been kind of wet. So what's fascinating here is the scope. I mean, this is just a huge, massive area. And then there's Judy over there in the bird's nest, but this is just an incredibly large piece of real estate here. You can see some of the infrastructure that's inside there that's supporting all this stuff, all the little tiny struts that make up this just magnificent, gigantic sculpture that this thing is. Okay, so what we didn't know previously before coming to the bird's nest, that Basically, K-mart bought the Bird's Nest. So now it's all sponsored by K-mart. And inside, they're selling stuff really cheap. So, you know, if you need a nice Chinese parka, or a pair of shoes, or a boots, or a panda-shaped hat, K-mart, Bird Nest. So, tonight we decided to go have some Beijing duck, formerly known as Peking duck. I've never had it before. I've had duck and I wasn't really impressed with it, but Judy said that this was different, and we went to a really amazing place and had Beijing duck, and it was really good. And what it is you get this crispy golden skin duck slices, I mean just beautifully laid out, and little pancakes, these little almost like tortillas, really small, and you put plum sauce on them, and you put duck and some onion, and wow, really good. This place is amazing, and the skin is so fatty. It just added this whole different dimension to duck taco. So if you've never had a duck taco, go to Beijing and order yourself a delicious Peking duck taco. They are terrific. Also, as an aside, it was freezing tonight. I got out of the cab in 5 seconds. I was so cold. It was like a 26-degree wind. I don't know what the wind chill factor was, but you know, tonight was supposed to be like 26 degrees, really cold, and I literally started shaking, and basically we ran into the restaurant. So when we had to leave the restaurant, man, I was not happy. I mean, I was stupid enough to go there with a t-shirt and a jacket over it, but you need thermals and the whole thing, and I didn't have them on like I did during the day, and I thought I was cocky. I got in a cab, I figured cab, restaurant, back in a cab. Well, trying to get in another cab from leaving the restaurant, not so easy. Especially when it's cold and rainy and stuff. A lot of people are in cabs, so I learned my lesson. And also, watch out for cab drivers in Beijing, because the bottom line is that if you don't know any better, they'll tell you how much it's going to cost to go somewhere, and they're just doubling their fare and not having to claim it, because legally they're supposed to run the meter. And so the guy said to us, it's going to cost $50 to go to this, go to this restaurant, and I said, meter! And so it cost $21 to go to the restaurant. So just so you know, if you ever go to Beijing, to be careful of the cab drivers, because they will take you for a ride.